The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more into the breach do we go, dear friends.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
2370 on the S&P cash. We're off 2 points. Volume very light, 1.8 billion shares. As I said last week, evidence was starting to pile that we were going to have a very sideways market. I was talking to one of the people in the den. I said, yeah, we're going to get a bounce. This is at like 2362, but I didn't know how small it was going to be. And what do we get? 2374 so far today. You know, could we get a little buying late in the day? We could. My guess is that we are flat and waiting for the Fed to see if they're even more hawkish than she was a week ago on Friday, i.e. Janet Yellen. And we'll see. But the question is it just 3 hikes? Now people kind of thinking maybe 4. Would she actually do 4 in 1 year? It's kind of tough to tell. But everybody's kind of trying to put in the worst case scenario. But again, that'd only be like 4 rate hikes would be 1%. That would just kind of get it back to the cost of money being nothing. It's below nothing right now. So it would actually say that the markets and the economy is probably just pricing things back in. As I've said before, I think the best thing they could do is raise interest rates a couple of percent, get some risk in there, so money isn't thrown on ludicrous things. I feel like a lot of people are buying a lot of pet rocks out there. Snapchat, one of those that follows that lineage. The mood ring and Snapchat. Do they all belong together? I don't know, but makes me nervous to say. We've got more about Snap in the news today. In the meantime, let's get started with a little bit of history.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1871, the German-born English astronomer William Herschel discovers Uranus, the 7th planet from the sun. Herschel's discovery of a new planet was the first to be made in modern times, also the first to be made by use of a telescope, which allowed Herschel to distinguish Uranus as a planet, not a star, as previous astronomers believed. Of course, Uranus is a gas giant like Jupiter, Saturn. It's made up of hydrogen, helium, and methane. We're running out of helium here on the Earth, and that may be the place we have to go get more helium. We can make more hydrogen. We can make more methane. Helium is one of those things that's tough to get. We had a whole bunch of it, and then we let it all go to make balloons. Not a bad probably a really bad idea when we look back on it. It's the 3rd largest planet. Uranus orbits the sun once, only 84 years. It's the only planet to spin perpendicular to the solar orbital plane. And, of course, millions and millions of wonderful snickers from high school boys saying Uranus. Anyway, this day, 1871. Always a big day. I love astronomy. Of course, Bitcoin bought the big one. This thing was down rather largely after the bell on Friday night. The SEC has decided to deny an application for the Winklevoss twins for the first exchange-traded product that tracks the price of Bitcoin, according to an order posted by the regulator's website. From a report in an order, actually on Friday, the commission found that the proposed fund was too susceptible to fraud due to the unregulated nature of Bitcoin. The result is a major setback for the fund, a frustrating false start for the cryptocurrency at large. The ETF is essentially a common stock fund pegged to the price of Bitcoin and allowing investors to purchase Bitcoin without the work of establishing a personal wallet, which is just so Oh, man, I was worn out. It took me all 5 minutes. Anyway, I don't understand. If it was a leveraged ETF, I might understand. I don't understand, why you want to get involved in an ETF for Bitcoin, but it seems ridiculous. But the Winklevoss twins, probably not partying today. Maybe they were drinking themselves under the table on Friday night, though. Other things going on. Well, we're now to our 104th consecutive trading day without a decline of 1% or more. Such longest streak back to 1994, and we continue on. Of course, we were talking about Snap and what's going on with that thing. I knew that I was watching the daily numbers come in on how many shares were short on it. But I brought this up before. Some things you just know are going to fail. We knew that Groupon was. We knew that most likely at $100, it was pretty ridiculous to figure out that GoPro was going to fail. But everybody kind of knew it. But it was the beanie baby of its day. Now, what do you have going on with people shorting Snap? The extortionate fees of 15 to 20%, which is about what the fees I saw as high as 22% for trying to get short GoPro back at 100. So a lot of people pretty much have this thing figured out. And again, other than maybe trading the thing intraday when this thing squeezes a bunch of those highly shorted people out, I don't know what else. But last I looked, there was over $1.5 billion already short Snap. So don't know what that tells you, other than the fact that there are a lot of shares out there that there weren't last week. Because, of course, when you short a share, you're actually kind of just borrowing it. But it does go into the float. Someone else had to buy that share. So it does actually make the float much larger than it would be elsewhere. Anyway, if you've got any... yes, your text does disappear on Snapchat after a few days. Your ads will too or not. I don't know if the ads do. I'm not a Snap kind of person, but I'm not one that's actually glued to my phone either. I sit behind screens long enough each day. I don't need to drag a portable screen with me to remind me why I am a slave to digital data. Anyway, shorting Snap. What else do we have going on out here today? A little bit else going on. You're up 8 points on the NASDAQ. No big deal. Volume is 753,000 shares for it so far. And, of course, if you look at the Dow Jones, it's off 33. No big deal either. That's a little more than 0.1%. Again, not a lot happening. I think we're just kind of in hurry up and wait mode for the Fed. My guess is that we're going to go higher. We'll talk about why that is. But, one of the reasons I said last week I thought that the market was going to move up a little higher was that China looked fairly weak, probably the weakest of the bunch. It did go down a little, but it kind of refused to quit going down. And I said one of the reasons why I thought so was WIN wasn't acting like it was going to roll over and die. And it's up $4.50 so far today. So we'll take a look at WIN and some others. But if you see WIN really sucking wind, then it's probably China. We'll be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And we were talking about GoPro. Ambarella up a bit. And volume's not too bad for a generally light volume market today. Of course, you came off the 60-68 high on March 1st with some juice out here. Let's take a quick look at GoPro, GPRO. And this one's down a little bit more. Not a lot of volume out here. There's just really nothing underneath it right now. And I don't know if you can say anything more about that. Other than this thing is massively short. I'm waiting for a setup, maybe where you could buy an option at the right period of time. I think you could get a $2 move in this just from the shorts. So I wouldn't be short that thing, but everybody and their dog is. Key Holding Corporation, nice little bounce in this one. Not a lot of volume. It's not a big volume stock to begin with. It's got a nice little gap at about 10.30. And PBYI, which seems to be always on the list of advancers or decliners on a percentage basis, up on very light volume, breaking through the previous highs of the 17th and the 21st of February. Looks like this is headed to the November 25th high at 47.45. Just no juice. And of course, you had a huge move down with volume that was reversed, but still doesn't look that good. Cirrus Holdings, we talked about this one maybe 3-4 weeks ago, and I said, you know what? Maybe I don't think that there's anything with Sirius XM that actually is worth a lot, but maybe they can sell the spectrum to somebody else. And I didn't look at the news out here. Maybe I'll check it during the break, but huge move out here on this one. Let's check the news, see what it says on headlines, and see if there's anything out here to say. Oh, I see what's going on here. That makes sense. And what's going on is Pandora wants to pick up XM Sirius so that they can pick up some more rights to more music, which is one of those things everybody's always fighting over, are the music rights to be able to broadcast. And I think they could pick up XM. But I mean, with internet now as prevalent as it is, wonder if this thing is nothing more than a holding company for those rights to the satellite and the rights to play music out there. Actually, Channel 30 is the best. I don't know what Channel 48 is, but I'm sure it's some kind of horrible disco stuff. Now, if you could only see Channel 30, The Loft, actually the best channel on Cirrus Logic. Spectrum Pharmaceuticals, SPPI, nice little bounce. Not a lot of juice so far in this one. Just kind of a light volume bounce after a pullback. Oh, yeah, just as bad, Heart and Soul. Channel 30, The Loft, the best channel on Cirrus. I had it for a long time. It's just the only reason I had it was because that was one of the ones where these people would dig into some really deep tracks. And a lot of music I just loved that I never knew were on some of the albums, and they always play that stuff. But I shall. In fact, what I do now is that there's a website that shows you every song played on XM Cirrus satellite, and I just go through that list, and then I go to Spotify and check the songs out. Much better way of doing it. Then I can put them on the list of stuff I want. Terraphrase Pharmaceuticals, TTPH, out there. Dog Star Radio, I think it's called. I haven't looked at it in a while. I'll have to check it during the break. Terraphrase, TTPH, nice bounce on energy on Friday. Not much juice out here in the follow-through today, but nice move on that one. WB, which is Weibo. And just back down to this huge volume down day, but back into the trading range. Wonder what the deal is on this one. We'll check it out real quick. I need some little music here, waiting music. Social media platform. Oh, in China. Okay. Never mind. I'll move along. WLDN, which is Wilden Group, has broken out of its previous January 25th high at 31.91. Did so on Friday, was about 4 times the volume, 858,000. Today, volume's a little light, but this thing is continuing. As we said before, Win, a nice move out here. I got out of the triple short on China because I didn't see the weakness in Win that I was looking for, and made a few shekels, but probably should have just taken the other side. But what we do have now is the second big gap in this. One more big gap in this one, and I'd probably pull the trigger as long as volume remains short on this side. I've long thought that the markets, when they roll over, we're going to see China roll over before we see everything else. Anyway, that's percentage advancers for the days. Now we'll go to the percentage decliners, and we'll give them the losing horn if they so deserve it. BCRX, and just a little off the top, this is BioCryst Pharmaceuticals. Nothing to say here yet. CARA, which is Cara Therapeutics, down on light volume. CLVS, a little bit of a reversal out here when you look on the candles. This one tried to go a little higher this morning, kind of giving it all back. Not a lot of volume, though. So I don't know if you can make a great deal of that one. Comtech, CMTL on this one. Again, got a lot of these kind of little reversals out here today. If the candles were bigger, I'd actually make something about it. To me, the bigger thing is that this filled half of the gap. So if you were playing some of these out here off the bottom, I would have pulled the trigger on Friday and just went ahead and sold it, because generally the first move, when you got a gap this big with this much volume, if you fill half the gap, that's about all you're going to get. This thing gapped down on June 17th last year with 6.5 million shares, back up in that same gap with 1.1 million shares. So, and 1.2 million shares, so not all that much. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And what else do we have? Okay. Amos Therapeutics, FOLD, down on light volume. What can you say? Don't see a lot in that. Fossil, This thing's been beaten like a redheaded stepchild. Gap down on last earnings to $18.10. It's moved through it. Did so. Volume did pick up on the day. That was the 3rd of March. Now we just got lower moves out here. And, of course, people not buying smartwatches, people not buying watches at all when everybody's got a cell phone in their pocket. It's now the pocket watch, right? Isn't it? Just the cell phone's the pocket watch. GoPro, we talked about this one already. Don't need to belabor the point. HIBB, Hibbett Sports down. Little reversal here on light volume. LGIH, Homes, down on lighter volume. Filling this gap. This is not a bad looking chart. If you could get down to about $30.25, might have something in that. Higher volume, nice gap up, nice pullback. When we come back, we'll be talking tacos. TACO.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And when we go back and look at the markets, have they moved at all in the last little bit? Oh, we're only off 1 point in the S&P cash. Volume still light, 1.9 billion shares. Normally we're at, 2.3. something like that, 2.3 billion shares. So pretty light volume today. And again, I think we're just going to have a lighter volume as we go kind of into the FOMC meeting. But what else do we have going on out here? Oh, levy. We were talking about that when we left. Move down, volume picking up. This already had broken through and filled a lot of these gaps going back to the 17th of October. You know, about 1135. It looks like that's kind of where support comes in. So you got about another 60 cents down. Urban Outfitters. This thing, of course, just keeps going lower. No one wants to be in teen clothes, and no one wants to be in mall retail. And you've got a kind of a nice, I don't know, smallpox / Ebola virus going on these stocks. Down on huge volume. Tried to come back up. It's kind of moving back down on light volume today. Eventually, these things will bottom, but I think we're going to have a fashion revolution in these high schools. Everybody just wearing jeans and a T-shirt ain't going to get it done for them. Zogenix, a little bit of a reversal on this one for Friday's huge move. ZIOP, which is Ziopharm Oncology, a little bit of reversal on this one from Friday, too. Volume's a little lighter. And Zoomies, just a little follow-through from here, Friday's huge gap down. So I don't know if there's that much you can actually see in that. We'll take a look and see if there's anything going on in MACD crossovers. We've got on the bullish side, Boyd Gaming up on light volume. That doesn't look promising. Claris, CAL is the symbol on this one. A little bit of a pullback. ORAN, TRI, Thomson Reuters. Well, this thing went to a lower low. None of these look that encouraging. Watt, a nice little pop in that. No volume in it either. So, I don't know. There's not a lot to really yell and scream about. Let's take a look at some of the other stuff out here. In fact, let's go to some of my scans from last week and see how these stocks have reacted. ADP hanging at its highs. 104.09 is the previous high. Got to 105 with lighter volume, but still hanging at these highs, light volume. Wonder if they've got an earnings date or something coming up on this one. Check real quick. April 26. So maybe this thing's just going to hang up there without a lot of energy. Doesn't look like it's going to roll over anytime soon. Anadarko Petroleum, nice bounce off the move down from last week. Again, all these energy stocks looking pretty good. COP, ConocoPhillips, down to its previous gap. Let's take a look at Halliburton. Halliburton looks like it can fill a little bit more of this gap, maybe down to $50. Well, you kind of got the other day. This thing had a nice move up on the 30th of November, excuse me. 32 million shares. You got back in into that gap up with about half of the volume. Let's see what else we have out here. IYZ, which is the telecommunications sector. It's done its pretty much a 50% retrace out here. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, well, it did more than that. It looks like a 682 retracement. Yeah, 32.15 would have been the 682, so it went 17 cents underneath that. It did its whole retrace. Energy was fairly good, not very bullish. Volume very light today. J&J, it had broken through its previous high with 8.5 million shares, which was just about 1 million shares higher than the July 20th of last year's high, 124.38. So you didn't really have a huge sign of strength, but what do you got out here today? About 4 million shares so far. So it is breaking a little higher, and this is what I was talking about. A lot of these safety stocks, everybody keeps piling back in, even at the highs. Neighbors Industries come back and tested its gap up. Unfortunately, the volume was a little too exciting for us down there. RDC, what's this one? Rowan and Companies, it's filled its gap up. Energy was a lot less. This is not a bad-looking stock either. The downside is that volume did pick up on March 9th, which would conclude that you're going to have a consolidation move and not an instant V bottom. And again, the volume gap up on November 30th for this one, too, was 5.5 million shares. So a little bit of sideways action. Let's take a look at SWFT. This one, Swift Transportation. Interesting chart pattern out here in that there's a double gap. And this thing is right at it. Like the energy on the way back down, a little bit too much on this last leg. But you had a nice gap up on the 25th of October last fall, 6.5 million shares into it with half the volume. So again, Swift Transportation looks like around here's got to be some kind of support if you're into the transports. Another one that's come back is SunCoke Energy, but I'm not going to spend any time on it. Let's look for some other ones out here. Telephone and data systems. Tasco Mines, and nothing to hang your hat on that one. Let's see what else we have out here. Trustmark, Tenaris. Now, this is kind of interesting. Tenaris had a nice gap up with some decent volume on the 30th of November. 4.5 million shares. Got back into it with 4 million shares, though. So you kind of have to take a look at that. 4 million shares. So it was a little lighter out here, so it's starting to find support. UCO, which is ProShares Ultra AIG crude oil, has filled its gap out here. I think that's why we're starting to see some support in the crude sector. Vale, a little pop up here, no volume today. XEC back to its previous low with light volume. So this is Cimarex Energy Corporation. Nice pullback on lighter energy back to its November 3rd low, 118.51. Had 3.5 million shares, and we got into it with just 1.2 million shares on March 9th. And just light volume out here, up on light volume again today. What is this? XES, another one. S&P Oil and Gas Services, gap up on the 30th of November, did so on a little less than 2 million shares. Downside was you had the huge volume day when this thing spiked and ran all those gaps, did so on a little higher volume at 2.5 million shares. So we're probably going to have a little bit more consolidation than a straight V up on that one. SP Metals and Mining is finally back to this gap. And some of these gaps that go back to early November. Now on this one, kind of got into that first gap and bounced. Would like to see a little more juice out of this one today. There's a little. It had a few kind of steel stocks acting like maybe that they were at support too. But we'll wrap this up in the last segment. Well, not the last segment. We've got 2 more segments. I'm going to have to dig deep today. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
TFNN has just launched a special event in Tampa with Tom O'Brien taking place March 18th, sponsored by Nadex. Tom O'Brien will be presenting 2 workshops for a combined 2.5 hours of education, bisecting and dissecting his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System. March 18th kicks off with a continental breakfast as we get everyone checked in, and that is followed by 2 75-minute workshops with Tom O'Brien. The first workshop from 8:45 until 10 a.m. will cover quality volume, cause and effect, and ABC structures, and the second workshop from 10:15 until 11:30 a.m. will cover swing points, testing, and the Tiger Gartley. Tom will then wrap things up with a question and answer session, which will be followed by a Tiger Lunch and Social on the rooftop of the Westin Hotel. The best part is that it's all free, but you must register to attend. Visit the front page of TFNN.com for all the details and to sign up today, and we hope to see you in Tampa on March 18th.
If you're looking to unearth a new financial resource and diversify your financial portfolio, consider the new Market Safe Core Commodity CD from Everbank. This 5-year U.S. dollar-denominated CD gives you exposure to 4 equally weighted commodities: gold, copper, WTI oil, and sugar, in one powerful CD. With no pricing caps, you can potentially earn an unlimited upside payment at maturity if the commodities increase in value across semi-annual pricing dates. And should the opposite occur, your principal is 100% protected. Keep in mind, returns are based on CD performance. There's no annual percentage yield yield or periodic rate of interest on this index CD. Don't miss out. With certain commodities on the rebound, now is the time to take advantage. The March 23rd funding deadline will be here before you know it. So call 1-855-750-4051 or visit everbank.com/TFNN for the CD's term sheet and other important product details and disclosures. Once more, that's 1-855-750-4051 or visit everbank.com/TFNN. This advertisement is sponsored content. Everbank is a member FDIC.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now, you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And as we got back, NASDAQ up about 13 points. We're up, or down actually, half a point on the S&P cash. Just no real juice to the downside, no real juice to the upside. Certainly makes us think we're waiting for something. And with the FOMC at 2 o'clock on Wednesday. Ooh, I didn't check. I need to check. I wonder if we're having the press announcement after this one. I'll look at that in the next break. What else do we have going on out here? Oh, I had an email from John from Orlando, wanted to know what was going on with the TLT out here. And you did test the TLT with a little lighter volume out here, 11.3 million shares and then 10.6 million shares. You wanted to come in less than 16 million shares of December 16th. But you come in here with a little lighter volume, but still no real significant bounce. Certainly, you do have lighter volume today, just 3.8 million shares so far. But the question is whether or not it's going to test this low or it's going to go back just a little farther to these 115 lows in the TLT. And, you know, if you can fade the heat to 115, maybe this thing pops back into above 116.80, and you've got yourself at least a temporary buy point. But it doesn't look good. There's something going on in this market that I'm not exactly sure and clear about, but it seems to be in a few of those. Let's take a look at some of the other tests of last week and see what I'm looking at. Most of these are going to be duplicate. ABX, see how this thing did from last week. Barrett Gold. Gap down, of course, on the second with some fairly decent volume, 32.8 million shares. It's coming back up today to 7 million shares as we go back into that heavy day down. This one looks like, if you wanted to talk about filling half the gap, 1875, something like that, 1880. And if you don't get some juice on it, if you were playing it for the bounce, I don't see a lot else in that right now. ADPT, which is Adeptus Health, gap down, just going sideways. See if what else is in my list of stuff I wanted to check back in. AVP, which is Avon Products. This has been going back and filling this gap, which there isn't much left of it. This is a gap up on the 2nd of August of 2016. I did so on 21.5 million shares. Came back and kind of filled it with 11 million shares. Again, a lot of times what you get is this slow pullback, and you get it totally filled. Not a bad-looking chart. I don't know enough about Avon out here on its prospects. I'd want to look at it. But I like all these dojis. Normally a good sign that someone's in there accumulating it at these lower levels, especially on light volume. If it was heavy volume, you have to worry that, there's somebody big selling it. But it just seems like you got a few sellers and a few buyers out here, and this thing doesn't look all that bad. What else do we have in it? CSRA, what is this? This one came back and filled its gap. Did so very nicely, in fact. I kind of hate this big gap down on the 8th of February. But other than that, this one does not look that bad. Nice gap up on the 10th of November with 5 million shares. We've come back in it with 1.4 million shares on the 6th of March. And it's just had some very light volume out here. I might want to see if I could get that thing at about 28 bucks. It comes back down there, and volume once again is very light. Let's look at the profile on this one. Oh, yeah, this is the one that sells services to the government and their customers. Protect their network assets, mission-critical functions for warfighters and citizens. So it doesn't look too bad. I mean, you got a nice sign of strength. Not exactly sure what this news out here on the 8th of February was that popped this thing down. But since then, it's acted fairly well. FireEye. Again, it could look a little better. Up on light volume today, this thing gapped down on huge volume. Could you get a pop back up to 1250? You could. I just don't see anything in it right now that says pull the trigger. FXN, GG. Let's take a look at this one. See if there's anything else out here. Just kind of done its retracement, hasn't it? Okay. On the bigger pullback, this thing did a bigger than 682 on the way back up to 1787. On the way back, this thing's gone a little bit more than 50% from that 1787 February 16th high. And now just kind of going a little sideways out here. Well, I guess what you really look at, or I'm looking at on this and Gold Corp, is just the huge energy from that February 16th high to the March 8th low. Could you get a nice bounce? 1580 would be the 382, right? 1620 would be a 50%. But that 1580 would take you back into those double gaps. So 1580 could be a target on that on a bounce. G111, actually GIII. Seeing if this thing is making some kind of low out here. It might be interesting. Again, some of these apparel stocks just look so washed out, there isn't much left. But I don't know what you're going to do with them. December 2nd, $24.41, 7 million shares. I do like the way this thing's only got 200,000 shares today out here. So you are back down here with light volume. The thing did rally off that kind of big move down on December 2nd, got to 32.59 and has had this very long and protracted pullback down to this level on light volume. But I don't know. I don't know if I could, I'd have to feel a lot better about clothing and retail than I do today to pull the trigger on it. But amazing looking chart. Hecla Mining back testing its previous low of October 6th that had 5 million shares, did so, or actually 10 million shares, did so with a little less than 5 million shares a couple of days ago. Popped back into the trading range. You're up today on a little bit of volume. What you need to make sure is this thing continues to have a close above $4.93. What else do we have? What's RDC? I think we already looked at it, didn't we? Rowan and Companies. Yeah, we already looked at that one. So what else do we have? Let's go back earlier in the week to some of these and take a look at them. Yeah, we talked about this one on the air too. Was Ubuntu had a nice gap up on the 5th of August last year. Got back into that gap that had 2 million shares with 1 million shares. A little bounce out of here, but I still suspect the way this thing came down, there's a lot more consolidation that needs to do. Question in the den, SMHs, what do we have? Also, someone called in with about 1 minute left on Friday. If they want to call back in about Qualcomm today, do so during this break. We'll be back shortly.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And as we come into the home stretch, question that in, look at the SMHs. I mean, you don't have a lot of volume, but you don't have any signal yet. So I don't know what else you can do out here, but just wait for a signal. Nothing out here. You got a little doji out here today, but you're going to need confirmation tomorrow. So I don't know if there's anything more you can say about it other than that. On Friday before the bell, my bell, the end of my show, someone asked about Qualcomm. I assume they're thinking about shorting this thing. Came down on huge volume back on the 23rd of January. Did so on 93 million shares. Back up with about 10. I'd want this thing to get over 60 and preferably 61 bucks. I think if you're going to get an ABC down on this, that's when it's going to start. But even then, man, it's hard to short this thing and think that the wheels are going to fall off of it. They have so many patents on all the mobile technology that you'd really have to have the entire industry kind of collapse, and I don't see much of that. I got to sneeze. Oh, boy. It's this time of year where you got to run the air conditioning. I get chills, and then I get warm, and I get chills, and then I sneeze. Anyway, Qualcomm, that was it. We were going to talk about some other ones. What did I forget about when I sneezed? Somebody was going to bring something up. We looked at SOX. We talked about the TLT. Is there anything else out here that we were talking about that might change? Trying to see what it was. We'll just take a quick look at MBLY. Mobileye, of course, buyouts coming from Intel, and pretty nice move out here today. Certainly went right back up, fairly close to the August 17, 2015 high, 64.48. This one has been perpetually heavily shorted, so a lot of people got a short squeeze of extraordinary magnitude today. And this thing is probably going to take about 9 months to go through. Awful long time. I don't see why Intel would pay this kind of cash for the company. I know what they do. I just think a lot of things are going to change between now and then. At $15 billion or whatever it is, this is about twice of what Skype cost. And my guess is there's going to be better technologies that bypass this. So I'm not a real proponent of Intel throwing their money at this thing. And again, you're probably seeing a little bit of movement in Intel for that reason. You're down on 40 million shares, and you're going against a low from February 10th that had 44 million shares. So this could break it with volume today. That moves you back down to the next low of about 33.42. I think all the stuff Intel's doing on the big scale, doing everything right that it can. This is probably one of the first things I've seen them do that's rather stupid in a while. I just don't see spending that kind of money. You can hire a lot of people and do it inside, and maybe they've got some technology we don't know about. When a company like that, or these two companies, maybe Mobileye needs the technology to manufacture the chips that don't exist yet. Intel's very good at blazing those trails. So maybe some of this we do not know yet. But again, Intel's done everything. This one's kind of questionable, and I see why it's down today, because I question it myself. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.